Good afternoon. I just had some things I wanted to share. Now that I'm going back into my memory from when Phil passed away and getting the dates down from when I went to the ER and I had to call to find out because I couldn't remember. I I believe that when Phil passed away, I went into shock and I was numb. And I believe it was God's way of protecting me at the time. I I'm now going back in my memory to try to remember exactly what was going on because when he passed, I just couldn't believe that this was going on and before he passed and he tried to talk to me and I couldn't understand what he said. And I kept saying it's going to be okay, the ambulance is going to be here. And I told him I loved him. But I could not understand a word that he was trying to tell me. And now I'm thinking back that maybe he was telling me he was dying. And it really hurts to think about. And then I guess it was, shock is I guess a way to protect us from our body and our mind going insane, I guess. And now that I am getting a clearer mind, I'm thinking back on that day and it's still fuzzy, but some things are coming back to me. And I do remember talking to my friend on the phone. She called me because she said that she felt something was wrong, but she didn't know. And she was right. Phil died. And she talked me into going to the ambulance, or calling the ambulance to go back to the ER. I went to the ER on the 23rd. I thought it was the 26th. But I went the same day that he passed because I had so much anxiety. It was scary. And then I came home, and then I went back again on the 26th, and then I came home. And the 27th, I ended up staying until the 31st. And they kept me in the ER because of the anxiety, and they were trying to get me in a nursing home that allowed people with COVID because I had COVID at the time. And I think back in my memory, it's foggy, but it's coming more clear now because my mind is clearer. I made decisions that I shouldn't have, but I didn't know any better at the time. I trusted people that I didn't know who to trust, but I trusted my caregiver because she was my caregiver for 2 years. And it ended up that I shouldn't have, and it ended up to be total chaos. And then that chaos just got me into, I think, more shock because I couldn't believe what was happening. And then I didn't have anybody to help me get my stuff in the trailer that we lived in, and so I trusted somebody that I only knew from online. And she got my things, and then it just turned into more chaos. Then I trusted somebody else that I knew from online, but I thought I knew maybe better than the other people that I knew from online, and it didn't really work out too well. So now I'm doing the footwork to get my things back. And it's been 7 months since he passed, and it's probably been since February that I've been trying to get my things back. I mean, at first I just was waiting for the person to send it back. And I'm still waiting, so it's just a lot of excuses involved. They're making excuses of why I can't get it. I'm just truly grateful that God is on my side. God is on everybody's side. God cares about us. God loves us. My memory is getting more clear now. My mind is getting more clear because the numbness is going away. The shock is going away. But sometimes I feel myself going back into that shock. It's hard to explain, but I could feel myself. And I think it's the grief process. And from what I'm learning from with therapy and reading and listening to videos about grief, that two of them that I posted of a doctor, I believe it was, I've learned a lot from listening to him. There's things that I believe that I may not remember, I may never remember, I don't know. And there's things that I'm starting to remember now. And I guess it is because God knows that I need to remember them now. And I'm writing down things as they come into my memory from the day that he passed. And it's painful, but it's healing me. And then doing the 4-step, it's healing me. And these videos that I'm doing is like a vocal journal, and that's helping me because I go back and listen and see what's going on at the time, and then as the days and the months go on, then I get to see how I was and how I am now. My first video after Phil passed away, I believe, was 3 weeks after he passed, and I listened to it and see where I was then and where I am now. In some aspects I'm feeling the same, but in some aspects I've been more accepting of his death, and so I am healing, and so I am more peaceful than I was then. And then some days I'm not peaceful, and some days the grief is overpowering, and I'm finding that. And then some days or minutes, it could be in the same days, the grief will be overpowering, and then a few minutes later it's not, and the peace comes over. Right now it's peace that I'm feeling. So I thought I would get on as I'm feeling the peace and sharing it as it's happening. I really am grateful for this program because I don't know what I'd do without it. I was talking to a friend last night, and I was saying that, I haven't been in the program for a while. What I meant is I haven't been to face-to-face meetings in a long time. But the program is the steps. The program is my relationship with God, and the program is taking the 12 steps into my life on a daily basis. And meetings help me do that, and I go to online meetings. And I've been going to online meetings since 1998, but I've been going to face-to-face meetings through that time. I started in 95, and then in 98, I found out about online meetings, and I was still going to face-to-face. And then when I got ill with lupus, in 04, I started online meetings more than face-to-face. And now with the epidemic with COVID, all the people are online now. Most of the people that are healthy are going to meetings online. And I have a tendency to think, well, online meetings is not really the same thing, but it is the same thing. I forget and I think, well, I haven't been to meetings in a long, long time, but I have, because I've run meetings online. I've done big book studies and step studies. My friend and I started doing them, and then the people stopped going and then went to Zoom, because where we were on Pal Talk. And so we just didn't have enough people, and then we stopped doing those meetings, but I didn't stop going to meetings. I just go to different meetings. I've been going to less meetings lately, and now I'm going back to online meetings more now. But it was interesting how when I was talking to her, telling her, well, I haven't been in the program for a while, and then I'm thinking, no, that's the wrong way of putting it, because I am in the program. If it wasn't for the program, I wouldn't be here. That's all I can say. I've been working this program for a long time now, since 1995, and I have not left the program. I have changed meetings I've had from face to face to online. That's the only difference. But I have worked the program. And I'm thankful that I am, because that's what's giving me peace, and that's what's keeping me going. A lot of times I think it's easy to get the program, thinking what the program means, going to meetings and helping other people. But I found the program is surrendering to a God and trusting a God. And the steps is the program, and the meetings and the people are the icing on the cake. I had to go to meetings to find people that can take me through the program. And then I have to continue to go to meetings to hear the message and to see where I will be if I stop the program, if I stop surrendering, if I stop giving myself to my higher power, who I call God today. If I stop going to meetings, I slowly stop everything else. And that's why I go to online meetings. I hear that meeting makers make it. I don't completely agree with that saying. Meeting makers, it's important to go to meetings. It helps you, but I can go to meetings and not get into action, and I can drink, because I've done that. When I first got sober, I did meetings, and I was in a recovery house, and I went and drank again. When I came back, I surrendered, and I continue to surrender on a daily basis. And my life is totally different today because of the 12 steps. The recipe of life, to me, is the 12 steps. And it's not only helped me stay away from alcohol and drugs, it's helped me become my own best friend. It's helped me be open and see. And it's helping me live my life now since Phil has passed away. It's helping me accept his death and accept the blessing that Phil was, and bring Phil with me, have him live through me, and share his blessings that he taught me. And it's the program that's teaching me this. So yes, I have been working the 12-step program, and I'm grateful for it. And I wanted to share that because sometimes I say I haven't been to meetings in so long, and then sometimes I say I haven't been in the program, but I have been in the program because the program is not just about going to meetings. And I do go to meetings online. And online meetings and face-to-face meetings are meetings. They're the same. I prefer face-to-face because you can see people and it feels more real. But with this epidemic and this going on with COVID, I'm taking the online meetings and taking them as a gift. I've talked about the cake being the foundation, and the gifts being the blessings, the icing on the cake. And that's what it is. My friends, my sponsor, is the icing on the cake from taking the program. I had to get a sponsor in order to understand what the program's about. And then taking the steps made me see who I am and see the things I need to change and see the things I need to keep, the positive things about me, and see the things how I'm going to fix myself. And I found out I fixed myself through taking the 12 steps. And I'm not fixing myself, it's basically God fixing me. But I'm doing the footwork to do it. And if I stop doing the footwork, then I'm going to stop changing me and fixing me. So I have to continue to do that footwork. But that's what I wanted to share. I don't know if it's of help to anybody, but it's helping me get things in perspective. And it's helping me see what my priority is in life today. My priority in life is to continue to stay clean and sober and to share God's love with everybody that crosses my path. Thank you.